Okay, it's July 10th, Tuesday, 9:08 a.m. Tuesday, July 10th, 9:08 a.m. And my name is Leslie Williams. Oops, sorry. I dropped my video camera. I'm in San Diego, California. And, I just woke up, so bear with me a little bit. I was thinking before I turned the video camera on what I was going to make this particular video about, and I was thinking about two separate things, and so I'm just going to go ahead and start talking in reference to what I've selected. Sorry, I'm having one of those brain fogs. You can go to YouTube, and fellow American citizens and fellow San Diegans, I'm a target of what is known as organized stalking, and it's also called gang stalking. And now I'm starting to get some attention in reference to some particular video, some particular, organizations online in reference to what's happening to me and who I am and what type of crime is happening to me. You can go to YouTube and type in Leslie Williams, The Informer Report, Organized Stalking. And it's an online organization that exposes and not only what's happening to particular targets, but it also exposes the methods, tactics, and type of crime that is happening to targets when it comes to organized stalking, gang stalking, and technological harassment. And also neural manipulation. And that is actually even used for part of the technological harassment. It's called the microwave auditory effect, which is the electronic harassment, which can be Googled and YouTubed, and remote neural monitoring. And now I've been a target of this crime openly now for 10 full years. Okay, every single day, day after day, literally week after week, month after month, year after year, in 3 separate states. Okay, and actually 4, and because it's a nationwide syndicate. Now I have to mention this in my videos, in all my videos, so people who might be first-time viewers or people who might not have been, are not familiar with many of my videos, so they can have a reference point to for research purposes. You can go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. It's a manifesto of a manager of gang stalking, organized stalking crews. And he went offline and typed in who they are and who they're connected to, how they operate, and what they're about. Now, there's 2 things here I want to mention in reference to that manifesto. It's not stalking by gangs, okay? This crime is directly concerning organized crime that is in the system, throughout the system, and that has tentacles in reference to the organized crime that is in the communities, okay? Including also in reference to how it has tentacles out in each employment sector. Okay, including also churches and charities, okay, and schools. And schools are even mentioned in the manifesto. Now, another thing, too, is that this manifesto is by no means the entire scope whatsoever of what these gang stalking, organized stalking crews, in reference to how they're connected to and how they operate. It is not the entire scope at all concerning who they are and what they're capable of and who they're connected to. But it does give you an excellent template reference for you to copy into a Word program and section it out in a Word program and then print it. And what I mean by section it out, it's a good idea to copy it into a Word program and then section it out in reference to how the manager is describing how the syndicate operates. Now, I want to also emphasize to you, fellow American citizens and fellow San Diegans, this is not stalking by gangs. This is literal organized stalking that's being literally implemented by individuals, okay, that literally work within the system, okay? Because there's no way at all, two points of reference that I want to say here, and then I'm going to get back to my subject matter. There's no way at all that a crime syndicate that was just involved in, like either drugs or racketeering or whatever, there's no way that a crime syndicate could operate in a cost-effective, efficient manner and still be able to employ the amount of people that they use, okay? That's one. And that's a given, because I'm going to tell you something right now. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And all other seasoned targets are saying the same thing, because when you're a seasoned target, you do your research. And we're talking about research that's done over years years and years. Okay, that's when you're targeted organized gang stalking. Trust me, it becomes your only and pretty much your main focus, at least for the first 5 or 6 years, because you're trying to get a handle on what's going on. You're observing things on a daily basis, and you read other targets' blogs, and you also read the research in reference to the legal research in reference to how this expedition is operated. And the word COINTELPRO is something that you're going to come 100% familiar with, and it does operate in a very exact similar way as COINTELPRO did operate. But here's the thing, with COINTELPRO, and even though I had no doubt in my mind at all, there are even literally rogue members in the federal government who are engaged in these expeditions as well. And what they're doing is using their employment descriptions to aid and abet in these expeditions to initiate. If it's not COINTELPRO, I'm not going to say that it's not, because I don't know if it's not, okay? But I'm going to guarantee you something right now. It's definitely 100% very similar to COINTELPRO. Now, but the thing about it is, though, is that with this expedition, there's no way that even just a regular crime, even though it is a crime syndicate, there's no way that a crime syndicate would have this many members, because it wouldn't be cost effective for them to have these many members at all, because they wouldn't be able to. Gotta put it to you this way: it's just like when you have a job and you make a certain amount of money and then you got bills. Okay, you got to keep your budget, in the black. Okay, when you're in the red, that means that you're spending more than you got, and you're in debt. Okay, in reference to how much money you make. Well, there's no way in hell that this syndicate could make any money whatsoever if it was paying on a regular basis every single person that they use to harass a target. Okay, flat out. Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. I've taken business many times in college, and I've even taken business law. I've studied business for years, as far as business classes being prerequisites to my college degrees that I was going for. And I'm guaranteeing you this right now, even an average high school person could figure this out. And what I mean, and also in part in relation to this as well, they practically never use the same people every single day. And that's what literally shows you right there that there's no way in hell that all of these different people that you see on a daily basis, which can be up to where I could see people harass me on a daily basis, all depending on what environments I'm at or where I'm going, anywhere between 1 to literally even up to 50 people in one day. And now I'm talking about different people, okay? So the only way that can be expedited is that if an individual that's in the system is exercising what is known as the community notification, and how also this person has connections within the community, like church groups, civic organizations, and all different types of groups that are in the community that advocate for different reasons. And what they're doing, and they're actually used for these organized stalking expeditions, because they're lied to. Now, I'm going to get off this subject matter because this is not the reason why I made this video, but to get a template reference to understand how cost effective and how easy they can get people to harass a target for them based on a lie. What they do is get people to harass a target for them based on many modes, and it's usually through slander, lies, bartering, intimidation, small amounts of money transfers, and all other types of, and intimidation is not just like violent intimidation. I'm talking about probation officers are involved in this, immigration officers are involved in this, and what they're doing is using their employment descriptions to get people that have been in trouble with the law, or people that might be here illegally, and they're bartering with them to harass a target. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, when you combine that with how they're using the community notifications to get people in the community and groups in the community to harass a target based on a lie, and bogus criminal investigation files, flat out. Now, there's many ways that these individuals are operating within the system to get the average American citizen and fellow San Diegoan to harass a target for them based on a lie, intimidation, bartering, slander, coercement, collusion, you name it, and friendships. And so this is how a very good portion of these expeditions are expedited through... hang on a second. Through cost-effective means. Now, so So when we see how they operate, okay, and because at the end of the day, it's all about control. There's only two motivations behind these expeditions: control and money. Period. Flat out. And a lot of the money is made off of control. Okay, and that in part is where the remote neural monitoring comes in at, because remote neural monitoring is also used for remote neural influencing and remote neural stimulating. Now, you can Google and YouTube extensively remote neural monitoring, cross-reference it to organized gang stalking when you do the research and understanding, and the research and how they are coupled in their operations in reference to control and money, and the same thing with electronic harassment. My name is Leslie Williams, and I'm here today to tell you that we as American citizens understand why we have to stand up and fight against the social ills that are in our community. Anything from human trafficking to sexual servitude rings or prostitution rings, to child exploitation, to racketeering, to embezzlement, to all the other types of extreme felonious criminal expeditions that are going on in our community. But here's the thing, though: when you're fighting organized crime that's in the system, that has targeted and flagged you for their expeditions in order to attempt to make money off of you, you cannot get no help, because they're in the system and they have tentacles out within the community in reference to how they're connected to different aspects of the community, and how they operate in reference to how they slander their targets, which in part does keep them from getting literal help, honest help from the community. Because, like, say if a target runs to a church, you got organized gang stalking feverishly going on in churches, whether they're aware that what they're doing is gang stalking or not. But the individuals that are in the system will notify the church and tell them a lie about the target. And these lies are tailored along the lines that this person is under criminal investigation. We would appreciate, we're trying to run them out of the community, or they're under criminal investigation. They'll probably even mention that they're under investigation for being a pedophile, because then the church person will think to themselves, well, I don't want this person coming to my church. I got children that come here for church services. You would not believe the tailored lies that they engage in about us targets in order to keep the target isolated from social support, financial support, help support. And to get a good idea of how this operates, go to YouTube and type in "listen to a stranger." Okay, it's how a guy is standing in front of a market with a badge, and he's telling customers that come in the market what to do towards another woman based on the fake badge, which they don't know what it is, one, and on a lie. If this YouTube video stops, it's because the battery ran out. So make sure you look for in the YouTube comments feature of this video for the continuation of this video. It shouldn't stop though, because I got a full battery. So the point I'm trying to make is that in this particular video, is that when you got targets like me, who actually even become federal and state whistleblowers because of what I've discovered in reference to why I was targeted. I've literally been a subject target of this crime now, literally all my life, because of who my father was connected to. He was Chief MP to General Curtis LeMay, okay? And through deduction and inductive reasoning and experience, I'm beginning to think that my mother was somehow connected to the government as well, okay, through covert means. Now, what we have to understand here is that, and even at times my family has literally even been a target of this crime. And I believe that was when they didn't cooperate with what they got themselves involved with. Now, this organized crime that my father was involved with had military attachments, and that's where the remote neural monitoring actually comes in at, back in the 60s and 70s. Now, I want you to understand something. When targets are picked, so are their immediate family. But my family, my parents actually offered up at least 3 of their 4 children for these organized crime expeditions to be implemented towards them as they got older, okay? Now, my marriage was actually intimate infiltration that I had no clue about whatsoever. That was orchestrated through the organized crime that my parents were connected to, and I believe probably more than likely who the organized crime that his parents were connected to, or that he was connected to. It was an arranged marriage that I had no clue about. He was cleverly put in my life at a time in my life where circumstances were being tweaked so that I would have to make an immediate decision about marrying him. And I did love him, though. But I didn't find out that he was actual in intimate infiltration, which is a direct tactic of organized stalking, until probably around the year 2005, 6, and 7. I started putting the pieces together. And then I knew it for sure once I discovered what gang stalking and organized stalking was online. And then between 2009 and 2011, I had absolute undeniable proof that he was. And he was used for abuse and trauma purposes. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm here to tell today. And I was married out here, I was married from 1983 up until 86, and then I left him for good in 88. That was the last time I saw him, was in 88 for a brief 5-minute. I ran across him one time at a gas station, and I lived with him for a little bit in 1988. He was my first love, and I was supposedly his, and. But the point I'm trying to make, the reason why I'm bringing him up also, is because, well, for one, you can go to Google and type in organized stalking or gang stalking and look at intimate infiltration in reference to how many Google-generated responses you'll get concerning it. Now, when I got married in 83, we came out here to San Diego because he was in the Navy, okay? And I at least was being neurally manipulated out here. And I have come to discover through also some research that I did in Dearborn, that the Navy has been involved in research in reference to, because these expeditions, organized gang stalking expeditions, are involved in research. If you look at the manifesto, you'll clearly see that research is mentioned throughout it, and that they consider us targets as nothing but lab rats, okay? Now, understand this and be clear as well. When I was out here in 1983 up until 84, then went back to Michigan for a couple months, then came back out here again in 84, and we stayed up until late 84. I was at least being neurally manipulated, okay? Now, I have found out over time that the Office of Navy Intelligence does protect the research that the Navy's involved in. And how could you say that the Navy's involved in research? They're involved in research in a lot of ways, but understand this and be clear. The Navy is 100% involved in research when it comes to radar and radio signals. You better believe they are. What do you think they use sonar for? And all types of other different types of communications in reference to their operations. But, and he was an antenna specialist who had also aspirations in robotics, and both of those job descriptions are directly involved in human experimentation, because radio operations are definitely 100% involved in remote neural monitoring, and so is robotics when it comes to the research field. Now, I'm gonna, that's a section of it. Now, what I want people to understand, and it's also a section of it when it comes to the military. What I want fellow Americans to understand something is that when a target is flagged for these types of crimes, and when a human experimentation is attached to it, even if they're tagged as a child, they're kept track of their entire life. And whether they dismiss the target and decide not to use them anymore, they will make sure that, like, if any neural implantation or physiological implantation has taken place as a result of using that as a conduit between the research and the physiological manipulation, they're going to make sure that no evidence is left behind. So they'll even set up a target to be murdered. They'll set them up for a car accident to where they die in the accident. So the physical evidence is not running around town in case they ever go get an MRI one day and the neurocognitive implants are discovered. Understand this and be clear. I know exactly what I'm talking about. You can go to YouTube and type in bioethics, Timothy W. bioethics issues, and thoroughly look at not only his video, but video concerning the Bioethics Commission holding some interviews with actual, literal, walking, talking, current time targets of this crime, and make sure that you thoroughly investigate all the videos in the sidebar. And if you watch enough of them, you'll definitely hear about the Navy. Now, my name is Leslie Williams, and the reason why I'm making this audio file is that since there's direct, literal criminal aspirations also attached to these expeditions, because human research is non-consensual, is 100% criminal. It's felonious to the extreme. It violates international laws, as well as the Nuremberg Law, international laws, and several other federal laws and state laws. But you also have the criminal aspirations that it can also be attached to as a sidebar. There are also sidebar aspirations for a target: human exploitation, racketeering, sexual servitude rings, human trafficking rings, neural enslavement for these expeditions, and that's where their neural monitoring can come into play at. Now, when a target is trying to survive these crimes over time, and when they reach out for help, this is in part how they discover that it's organized crime in the system, because they not only get no help, but they also discover that the individuals that are in this. Hang on a second. See if these people say anything. Let's see if they say, "Oh my God," as they're walking by. You hear that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Alright, I gotta stop this video right now because there's people in my environment. Understand this and be clear. How was I able to predict they'd say, "Oh my God"? Make sure you look in the comments feature of this video. They just said it again. Watch, they're going to continue to say it. So this is what we have to understand here. Oh, I was walking is their bullshit excuse. Let me tell you something. When I said, you're going to hear "Oh my God" or "Oh my God," and then they say it, what's the likelihood of me predicting that? It's just somebody walking by. I'm going to have to stop this video because of the situation that is arising. Now, for you to see a continuation of it, go to YouTube. Go to the comments feature of this video and clearly be able to literally see not only the continuation of this crime, but the factual proof and evidence that this organized gang stalking is happening towards me, where I'm making this video at right now. I'm being electronically harassed at this. I'm at a hiking area. I'm currently, periodically, temporarily hiking in San Diego, California, and what they do is get around you in all of your environments and repeat certain phrases, commentary, and words. Okay. And that's called the direct conversation tactic. That's directly connected to organized stalking expeditions, okay? And the "Oh my God" is one of the comments and the phrases that they repeat around me constantly. Now, somebody walking by here, okay, up through here, and then they're just walking by, okay? And then I hear them, okay? And then I say, "Listen to 'Oh my God," and then they say it. What's the likelihood of that happening if I didn't know what I was talking about? And plus, you're going to also be able to observe in the comments feature of this YouTube video many other videos of me predicting it and catching it. Gotta go. San Diego, California. Make sure you look at the comments feature of this YouTube video for a continuation of what I was previously stating before they appeared on the scene.